Welcome to the Ref Room, hockey talk for referees, coaches, players, and fans.
Broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
With your hosts, Scott Smokin, Silz, and Brad Baumruck.
Live.
The Ref Room starts right now.
And now your host.
Oh yeah, it is Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Ref Room in the off season, getting ready for seminar time already. Brad's got his ham sandwich today. No peanut butter and jelly for Brad. And we will be joined by our referee-in-chief from Illinois, from IHOA, and that is Eric Cowsill, who'll be joining us later in the show. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's still skating or having a great summer, playing some golf. And let's kick it off. Speaking of golf, have we sold out the golf outing? I know we're really close.
The golf outing is technically filled. We capped it. So everybody, thank you that's coming out. We got some stuff. We got a Yeti cooler that's on wheels that's like $450 or something.
Yeah. If you haven't looked at the price of Yeti stuff, it's outrageous. So it's a nice price. It's a very nice price.
And you know what? I don't know. I have a couple of the mugs, and I use the thing all the time. So I think it's worth it. We're going to be selling raffle tickets. We're going to be doing a 50-50. There's going to be a gambling hole a split the pot hole, I believe is how it's going to be ran. We're not doing it. An outside person is. So we thank them for their time.
Yeah.
And the Gores will be there. So it'll be a nice event. So the cap off, we
need to figure out a little something though. We got to give everybody that's a loyal subscriber to our show some kind of an advantage, because we know if you're subscribed. So we will come up with a way to give you some sort of an advantage if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. So you need to go to youtube.com/c/refroom and hit the subscribe button. And if you're subscribed, there's going to be some kind of a bonus during that golf outing for our 80 golfers that are playing that day. And it's going to be fun. So it's a week from Friday. So I'm pretty excited about that. I actually got out over the 4th of July weekend and played for the first time, and I actually hit the ball well. I was shocked. I'm not a big hitter, but I was in play. So I was happy.
Just you wait, Scott. You're going to see things.
I'm going to see trees hit that have never been hit before by you.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It depends on how it's going that day.
Well, I know you can hit the ball about 350, and I think it's 100 down and 250 to the right or to the left. I'm not sure, but I've heard you can hit it far that way.
I have been known to drive over somebody else's fairway to pick my ball up, so it has happened.
Yeah,
but no, it'll be a great event. I'm excited. Everybody that's coming. It's awesome. A lot of good friends that are coming. Lots of good people, of course. And then there's some people that we don't know that have known the Gores, so it'll be nice to meet some people that knew Mark on a different side other than the hockey side.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's it's a great day. It's great. It's a great cause. We're giving back money to charity and everything. So please, basically, are we sold out? Are there any? I think we're pretty much full.
Yeah, we're full. I mean, if you want, shoot me an email.
I don't know if we can get anybody else on, honestly, because it is filled. We can only have so many.
Yeah, we're full, but we were fortunate enough. There were 2 donors that actually donated money. One donated a green fee of $55, and the other one donated $100 because neither of them can come to the outing. So we're going to take that, and anything that we make on the outing afterwards is going to go to Puck Cancer.
That's awesome. So, thank you to everybody that has participated. Thank you to all of you that have signed up. We're looking forward to seeing you. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have lots of fun. Plan to stay there a little while afterwards because it will be a nice full day. Okay? Get your Uber ready to get your Uber app ready to go.
And we already talked about it. The people that planned all this with Nick and his wife, and his mom was involved in it. And there's me, Carl, Jack, and Mr.
A lot of people
George.
have put a lot of work into this. So thank you all very much for your time and for what you do for all of us. And we have so many people within the referee community that are very, very generous with their time and donate a lot of games and a lot of prep for all of us, and to make sure things run smoothly, and that we have a good association. So we do appreciate that. And speaking of the charitable things, I do want to mention that Pucks for Autism, I think he has now filled the slots. He had a small tournament coming up this weekend at Fifth Third. I know he's looking for a couple of guys, and I think somebody jumped in. I suggested that he called, so thank you to them. I won't mention them by name, but appreciate it. And, everybody thanks you for your service, okay? A few things. Hey, Terry. I see Terry's checking in. He wants to know if he's subscribed. Well, Terry, I don't have the list in front of me, but I can look it up. So
he's on Facebook now.
We know. Yeah, you're
Judging
on
by his
Facebook.
icon.
But you might want to go to the YouTube page. And again, it is youtube.com/c/refroom. And hit the subscribe button and the notification button. Okay? Eric wants to know, good morning, Eric. By the way, is Eric joining us? I know he's not a golfer, but he wants to know, is the shirt on the right way? It is on the right way today.
I
That's because Brad's wife helped him get dressed this morning, okay? She put him on the bed, sat him there, picked his clothes out, got him ready to go.
She doesn't have that kind of time.
Terry says 350 yards or 350 pounds. Well, is that like a European measurement?
Well, no, he's taking a shot at me from when I was really, really thin when I first met him to now. So
yeah, you did send me by the way, you sent me a picture to use in the promos, but it was so dark I couldn't use it. And Brad is like skinny as a rail. Like, when was this taken? And then you could see 1979 or something on the crest.
Wasn't that long ago. Wasn't that long ago, but thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm always happy to take care of my partner in crime here. Eric says he's going to come out, but he won't golf. That's all right. Hey, you could drive the beer cart. You can hang out with us. It'll still be a fun day. And if you stick around afterwards, everybody gathers on the patio, and it's a good time. So everybody's encouraged to do that. And
we have a little upgrade. So
we do?
Because you guys had used the patio. We used the patio in the past, but there's they put out kind of a gathering tent during all this, situation that we got going on, and they're going to let us use that from what we've known.
Okay.
Skinny. Yep.
Terry says he was a skinny, pimple-faced kid. Did you have zits back then, Brad?
Very, very badly.
Did you? I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
that's
tough. Okay.
That's
still, that is what it is.
Okay.
I can't
you
get
can't
around
help
it.
that.
That's how it was.
Can't help that. It's the way it is. All right. So we've covered the golf outing. I think the next thing we really want to talk a little bit about before we get into the good stuff with our referee-in-chief, the NHL. Duncan Keith gone from the Blackhawks. So does this mean the rebuild has started? And I don't know who they're getting. I read the guy's name, but is he a good player?
Third round draft pick. His dad played in the NBA, I think, and his brother plays for Columbus.
Okay, is he a forward or a defenseman?
Defenseman. I don't know much about him. I did hear a story. I did hear a story yesterday though, how he found out that he was traded.
Oh, I'd love to hear that because it's usually a shock.
So he was playing NBA on Xbox or PlayStation or something, and all of a sudden he got a text from somebody that said, "Is this true?" And he was like, "Is what true?" Like, what? And he's like, "Go on." So he went on social media and he found out on social media that he had been traded to the Blackhawks before his agent even had a chance to give him a call.
Isn't that cold? I mean, it's a cold business. Keep in mind, it's a business. You are property of a team, and you can be dealt at any time, and they don't have to tell you anything. That's just how it works. It's like, pick your belongings up and go to the next city. And I know they work with the players to help them and get them there and, welcome them and try to make them feel comfortable. But, that's a tough life. I mean, okay, these guys make great money and they do what they love and, they work hard for it. But just think, you can be uprooted in a split second. Like, you're happy, you got your house where you want to be, you got your friends, you got everything's good. And all of a sudden, boom, bye-bye, you're out of here.
Yeah,
now you're off to a city to live in an apartment for a couple weeks or whatever it is and try to find another apartment, and you might have 2 mortgages now. You never know. I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy lifestyle. So, I know we all wished we played professional hockey, but, there are sides to it that we don't really take into account, and that's definitely one of them.
Well, Scott, when Bob was on talking about when he was in the NHL, he said it. He said, it's kind of lonely. He's like, if you're a single guy, but when you start to have a family and stuff, now you're not home. You're in a city by yourself. You're always in a hotel. You're always driving. Like it can be lonely. I mean, it's kind of like doing local hockey here, but
yeah, some of those 24/7 shows, which were awesome that they did on like HBO. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, that great voiceover guy is actually, that's Ray Donovan. Okay. And he's the Goon in the movie, The Goon. So, the guy's got one of the best like voices for doing, these types of videos. He's incredible. But, the point being, they did a couple of these shows and they had a couple of players that lived together and they live pretty nicely. They've got like a pool table and all the games, and it looks like a little party house, and it's probably kind of fun. They've got, a lot of gatherings with their buddies and that sort of thing. But then you see on the other side, I think it was Matt Sundin, and what a great player he was. But he goes and gets like, I don't know if it's a studio or 1-bedroom apartment. It's like white walls and nothing. And it's like he's there for hockey to focus. That's not his main house, but that's where he lives during the season. So all he is focused on is hockey. And he was obviously one of the great players for the Maple Leafs. So, each group of players approaches it differently, and it's kind of interesting to see. That's why I really love those shows when they do put them together, and you can kind of see the behind the scenes things. I know they had one of the shows with Ovechkin, and they traveled around with him, and his mom lives with him, and his mom and dad, because she's the only one that can cook for him. He still likes his Russian food or whatever it is, and so she lives there. He's got a big house, and obviously he's very successful, but he's provided for basically. And that's what these guys need, because they are just 100% hockey all the time, and that's how they get to be so great. So if you guys are not focused and playing 100% in your men's league team, you could be moving down a division. You just never know.
That's okay. I'll play in the rec league.
Right.
Good with that.
And speaking in the men's league, so, we have talked about this for almost 6 or 8 months, having a special show dedicated to the men's league. And I ran into Marty Tong the other night, and Marty wants to come on. And Marty is the master of the men's league. So he has committed. He is going to come on and do one of the shows, and he's going to tell the story. I don't want to ruin the title of the show, but he's going to tell some stories, and he knows a lot of them because he's been working the men's league forever, and I think everybody knows Marty. Everybody. Like, you go to a game, and they all know Marty. So Marty's the men's league master. So we will have the Zen Master talk to us a little bit about men's league in the next couple weeks here. I just got to find a time that works for him. I was going to try to have him on today with Brad, but didn't work out. But anyway, he umpires baseball, so baseball is big for him during the daytime, and then of course he does hockey at night.
I got to get into umpiring baseball.
We have a lot of guys that do that, and they do lacrosse. We have a lot of guys. We have some guys that ref football, and we have some guys that like. I wouldn't want to go ref football. As a referee, I know nothing about the game. I never played. And yet we have officials that come into hockey that never played hockey. And they're good referees, which is amazing to me. I think our referee-in-chief, we don't have him on right now, but he's listening. He could probably nod his head. I could probably throw him in here real fast, but I don't think he played hockey growing up. So,
no.
It's kind of cool.
Grew up in
definitely
Detroit
something.
and didn't play hockey. How does that happen?
Well, that's a mismatch right there. You're in Detroit and you didn't play hockey. I can't figure out, like we've got Central States and, the Nihil thing, but how come we don't have any Michigan teams in Central States? We don't have any Minnesota teams. We don't have any Wisconsin teams, and we don't have any Michigan teams playing in Central States. Isn't it Central States? Like, I don't get that one.
It's just the league name, I think.
It's just a league name. Okay. All
yeah.
Right, cool. Another big thing in the NHL a couple of things. Pecorine. He retired.
That was a shocker.
Yeah, one of the all-time great goaltenders, and he's leaving the Predators. I don't know. Does that mean they're starting their rebuild? Yeah, I mean, you're losing a really great goalie. I don't know who they've got for that's going to step up and fill his shoes, but they're going to be some big shoes to definitely fill. And Tampa Bay, what's up with this? The Stanley Cup suffered an upper body situation. They have an upper body.
Currently going back to Montreal, I believe they said.
Is it going back because it's going to still stay outdented with the team until it returns, or is it going to?
I heard on the news that it was going back right now to get repaired.
So,
I mean, that photo. I don't know.
So the upper body injury. The cup is like dented, okay, on the right side.
Yeah.
It's got a head injury to it, okay, like a concussion. A bad concussion, like caved its skull in. So apparently they were throwing the cup around or something like that. So we were talking last night in the in one of the locker rooms, and apparently the real Stanley Cup never leaves.
Correct.
It only goes out for engraving after a team wins. So I was thinking, well, are they going to just like take the ring off this cup and have it re-engraved and put it back together and it'll be new? But somebody said, no, it's going to go out for repair. They are actually going to repair it. When I saw the picture of it, I mean, you're talking like, I don't want to call it totaled, but it's definitely got some major damage to it. So
yeah, the real one doesn't leave. And then they have the presentation cup. And that one's the one that, the players have. And
yeah,
that's the one that goes around and like. That's
the party cup, baby. That is the party cup, the one that you don't want to drink from because you know where it's been.
Well, if you think, I've always thought that too. Like I see pictures of people kissing it, whatever, and I'm
like, oh no. You know where that thing's been. You know what's been done in that thing. You just don't want to touch it, okay?
So the best part is like there's some times where guys are hoisting it, whatever, and it goes over their head and it slams off the ice, and so like in all reality, why would you let the real cup leave wherever it's at? And I believe it's a woman that does the engraving, by the way, that you put that out there.
Okay.
And number two is, could you imagine if somebody with ill will got their hands on it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
They'd ransom it for God only knows how much or sell it to somebody. Like,
Yeah,
you
you'll
know how
find it
that
on
happens.
you'll find it on one of the auction services. Yes, we have the
Exactly.
real Stanley Cup. It's an underground bid.
No, but
Yeah.
that picture, that thing. I don't know if that was throwing it around. That looked a little more serious. That looks like
Yeah,
we
I
were
mean,
throwing it and it hit a car on.
like it looks like you
the
threw it from
highway.
the rooftop somewhere and it nobody
It could have
caught
happened.
it.
Yeah, well, I could see it. I mean, think about it. You do things that seem fun.
That thing goes
Then-
to a lot of pool parties, which probably keeps it a little bit safer. But this looks like high diving board and it missed the water or something. So it's definitely got a major dent in it. So you guys can
Well,
check that out.
The
Pictures
interesting
are-
part about it, Scott, is could you imagine being? I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head that takes care of the cup.
Oh, I don't.
Oh,
Yeah, you talking
somebody
about the
will give it to me.
blonde-haired guy that you see in all the commercials and.
Could you imagine being him flying with that thing? You know, every airport, every time he walks in,
Oh,
TSA makes him take it out. You know it. I mean, if I'm
just so
a
they
TSA,
can get a photo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point. But I mean that's probably a fairly cool job. I mean, think about it. You're traveling like nonstop, and you get to go to like all these great parties because the cup doesn't go there and sit in like somebody's office for a day. Not even
Right.
a coach would like put it in his office for the day and go, yeah, it's here. I'm going out. There's a party every day with that thing. So what do you have? You got 20 guys on the team, right? 20 guys that dress anyway. You've probably got another 10 guys that are,
Scratched.
healthy scratches. You got the
Yep.
coaches. You've got, I don't know if the staff members, I'm sure some of the very valued staff members probably get it for a day or they get to share it for a day. I'm sure if you're the trainer and the equipment manager and all those guys, I'm sure they probably technically don't get it, but I'm pretty sure they're probably part of that party too. So that thing is just moving around. And these guys, they live in Europe, they live in Canada, they live in the United States, they live in Sweden, they live, Czechoslovakia, whatever. That baby is on the move, okay? I wonder how many miles. I wonder if they have an estimate as to how many miles the cup has on it. That would be a great
That's
question.
a great trivia question.
Wouldn't that be a great question? How many miles or how many trips has the Stanley Cup made? Like,
Or
that would
how
be
many times has it crossed the United States-Canadian border?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's got a frequent flyer. It definitely has frequent flyer points for sure. And I wonder what they charge them to move that Stanley Cup every time. So you're buying, probably one person travel with it or two people travel with it. And they've got to get the, they got to fly there. Maybe they drive once in a while, but they're probably flying somewhere pretty regularly. I wonder what it costs to put that thing on the plane, or does it go free? And does it fly first class? I would fly it first class. If I was the airline, I'd tell them if you open it up and you put it in the seat, it's riding for free today.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you think the Stanley Cup is carry-on luggage? I don't think it fits through that box.
No,
that they have for your bag.
definitely doesn't. It's not a carry-on bag because that's in it. Those are called ATA flight cases that it goes in, and that's what like the touring groups they're made for. I have them for my DJ company, and you can pack them in there, and they are actually certified to fly on like an airline that they can be beaten to death. And I'm sure that thing is so foam covered, and I'm sure they have it. You can get them where there's suspension inside of it, so you could put it in, and your equipment is actually suspended inside, and there's
Like
a surrounding,
yeah.
so like it's vibration proof.
So kind of like a puppet on strings, suspension wise. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Yeah, it's so all the equipment like in the music industry, it's all 19 inches across. So if you look, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see back here. Let me just go on a solo shot here real quick. I think does that give us
different.
okay?
Yep.
Look, this is a rack. Now this is like a plastic. These are lighter weight, but it's the same idea. The only difference is where you see the equipment, there would be a gap here. And the equipment would be inside the rack, but there would be more spacing outside. And so it's like floating. So it's basically floating in there, and that's how they do it so that stuff can fly and it doesn't get damaged, obviously. Stuff weighs a ton. I mean, I can't imagine that flight case. it's pretty good size, guys. You know, it's like carrying a little refrigerator with you. And it's not even that heavy, probably the cup, but you know, between the ATA case and the cup, you know, probably takes 2 guys. Well, it's going to have wheels, obviously, but you still got to get it in and out of vehicles. That thing's got to go probably into at least a minivan. It's not going in a car. It's not going in a taxi cab. So, anyway.
No, I'm with you. I couldn't imagine. It's got to be definitely interesting, but you know, the one thing, Scott, it's going to a lot of places. That's got to be, after a while, you know, partying starts to get a little tiresome too.
Well, I don't think the guy that's the keeper of the cup gets to party. I have a feeling like he's there as the security guard watchdog of the cup. And I wonder what he says after they dented that thing. Does he go, you know, like, hey, what the heck are you doing here? Or the party's over. That's it. We're done.
Could have been worse.
Does he break the party up at that point? Does he go, party's over, you damaged the cup? Or does he go, okay, party on, you know, and, you know, if you run it over with the semi, it's all good. We'll get it fixed. You know, or does he get flack for that? Does he come back to Toronto and, you know, he gets an earful for letting that cup get damaged? Like, you know, at what point does he say the celebration, you know, you can't throw the cup, you can't do this, you can't do that? I mean,
well, what are you going to tell a bunch of guys that play ice hockey for a living that beat the crap out of each other, that are fully intoxicated at the same time? How are you going to stop them from pretty much doing anything?
Well, that's when they call the referees and the linesmen to come in. The referee takes the number down, and the linesmen break up the problem here. So maybe they need to have the linesmen participate in the cup celebrations.
Stanley Cup game 9, 10, 11. Just
exactly.
Keep going.
The Stanley Cup tour linesman. You'll be a tour linesman, so you can kind of break it up. Yeah. All right, so a couple things we wanted to cover today. We got Eric with us. He's sitting over there in the stabbing cabin, which we'll show you in a minute if you haven't seen it before. Did you put your lights on yet, Eric? Eric's looking at us. He's laughing. I got him in the green room. Did you put the Christmas lights on yet?
I can't see
He's got some of them. He's got one set on, but he's going to go turn the other set on, so he's fully prepared.
It's July.
It is July. It's Christmas in July at Eric's house.
Hey, ask my wife. The Hallmark Channel has Christmas movies going on right now.
Do they really?
I woke up the other morning at like 9 a.m. and I hear Jingle Bells. I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, oh, it's Christmas in July on Hallmark Channel. And I'm like, really?
Well, you know, they spent a lot of money making those movies, and they can only run them one time during the year, so they might as well get their money's worth out of them if they purchased them and they own them, you know.
Darwin Furniture used to have a Christmas in July sale.
Oh, there a lot of places do that. You know, there's a lot of the clubs that used to have Christmas in July parties. So, you know, it's New Year's, half a New Year's Eve party. They do half New Year's too. Let's see. We got a couple comments here. Terry says they should leave it as is patina. Yeah, you're right, Terry. You know, at least for the season, I wouldn't take it back and fix it and send it back out. You know, Tampa should have to live with the fact that they damaged the cup. They have to suck it up and be embarrassed. Like, you know, look what you did to it, and everybody's got a photo to prove it.
Yeah, I think that'd be a little embarrassing. Just get it fixed.
Damn voice to text. Yeah, I know about that. He says there's a limit of the number of names that can go on the cup and a bunch of criteria around. Yeah, exactly. And then the rings come off and they get replaced.
There's some names on the cup that have been struck out because, like, people put, like, their kid's name or, you know, like somebody got on there that wasn't supposed to be on there. And so there's some accidents and stuff on the cup. If you Google it,
strikeouts,
they're all listed. Yeah.
What is this? Travelandleisure.com attraction sporting events Stanley Cup around the world. Yeah, you could follow that. They do have the tracker for the Stanley Cup, so you could find out where it is.
Okay,
at least they had that when it was in Chicago. You could figure out which bar to go to, and you know it was on the bar to bar tour. You know, tavern, the pub crawl. Call it a pub crawl for the Stanley Cup. Yeah, and names spelled wrong. They don't fix the names that are spelled wrong, Terry. If you put Bobby Hull up there as Hall, they didn't go back and fix that.
They're old mistakes. Like there's only one person that can engrave it now. Yeah. So, yeah. See,
Jacques
he's right.
Plante, my idol. Jacques Plante was my idol. Name was spelled a couple of different ways. Well, Plante is the correct way to spell Jacques Plante. That is correct.
Well, that's why they don't let just anybody engrave the thing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
makes sense.
they've learned.
All right, so we were
just
going to talk a little bit about face-off locations.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, if you're just joining us and you're not a regular referee, maybe you're a coach or a fan, the new rules are out, and they go into effect September 1st. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so my question is, since they go into effect September 1, and we have a lot of men's league hockey going on right now, do the rules change for that season, or do they wait till the start of their new season? Do they get through the playoffs with the old rules?
Well, technically, what I would do is I would stick with what they had already been playing with throughout that session. The only bad thing is where it comes into question is, like, is it going to be done, like, a couple weeks into September, or is it going to keep going until, like, November?
Yeah.
Because at that point, they're going to be playing that long. It'll transition. It sucks. There's no real ruling for that because the hockey season doesn't start technically. You know how USA Hockey works. It starts and it stops, and that's how their rules start and stop. But men's league's kind of the exception of it because they keep kind of
men's
playing
league's just an exception anyway, okay? And remember, I don't care how good you were. You could be the best player in the world. We all end up in men's league, okay?
I don't know. I think some guys just quit.
Well, they might quit, but if they come back, they end up in... It was funny because I saw a couple guys from one of the high schools playing in the men's league the other night. They've hit the age, and, they still got their school jersey on. They're playing in their home rink. I'm like, oh, back on home ice again.
I love that, nobody, you could have not played for 20 years. Nobody goes out and buys a different bag. They can get new equipment and everything. They're still walking in with their high school bag.
Got their high school bag, or they got their player bag. Some of them got their same gloves on. They played for Honey Bake back in 1980. Guess what? Those pants, there's nothing left, but they're still on them.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's just shreds.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like the mice have been in there, like, shredding on the pants for months. Everybody likes to show their gear.
Too bad. Actually, let's have a little mini breakout here right now. What grinds my gears? All right, this has happened more than once, and this is about players. It's a complaint about players. Is if your cat gets into your bag and sprays your equipment, please don't subject everyone else to it just because you somehow get your equipment on and manage not to throw up all over the locker room. Please don't come out and subject us to that. I had a guy on a men's league team many years ago when I played, and his cat would get into his bag every once in a while and mark itself on his equipment, and it was horrible. So he would get on the bag, and it doesn't go away. Like, you get used to it because you're wearing the stuff, but, come on. I mean, it's kind of like, refereeing with me after I haven't washed my equipment for 2 weeks. I'm sorry, it happens. Get over it.
That was going to be my comment because, a lot of times guys just smell like cat urine because they haven't washed their stuff so long. They've worked a couple weeks in it or something. And
there's a difference between, like, the sweat smell and then the cat urine. The cat urine is like gagging. But just cat urine. There you go. Well, if it's on your equipment, unless you're forced to ref with it or forced to play with it, there you go.
Well, I bought a Phoenix Coyote bag, a pro bag, online, used on eBay a number of years ago. And, like, really cool bag. It's got the original logo on it and everything. Very nice. Get it? Friggin' cat hair on the inside of it. I was like, oh, no. Like, how am I going to get this out of here? Now, fortunately, it didn't smell like it had been marked because the cat probably marked the guy's equipment and not so much the bag. But there was still cat hair in there I had to get out of there. I mean, it was disgusting, but it was a cool bag, I must say. And, not always easy to return something like that. So I think the guy was in Canada or something like that. And it's like, it's not even worth the hassle because the shipping costs more than anything else.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you
I don't know if you bought
out?
anything. Like, I've had JR make my bag. JRZ is like the best hockey bags made. And JR will make your bag for you and he'll do it custom. And, the bag price isn't bad, but then when you see the shipping cost, it's as much as the bag coming over from Canada. So it's pretty expensive to ship that stuff over there. All right, we got a couple more. Let's see what we got here. Brett is checking in. I thought originally 612C was going to align with the NCAA Rule 89 concerning an attempt to score a goal and the puck goes directly out of play. It appears USA has puck goes out. Boards glass, I'm reading. It's funny you said that because Brad and I were having that exact discussion before we came on the air, too. We had a situation I asked Brad about last night, so we might as well just get into that right now.
Go ahead.
We're going to kind of talk about this because if you go to, I'm just going to use McFetrich as an example. They have old school nets. The nets are, they're not those tightly wound nets that the puck comes flying out of. There's loose material down on the bottom. It's almost in the back. They don't have the big padded cushion that goes around the back of the net. They've got that normally you'll see a vinyl or something that's wrapped around there and it's laced. But theirs is just net laying there. And so often you have guys shoot the puck goes wide, and it ends up on the back of the net, and it's a little more challenging for the players to get the puck off the net. They'll try to pop it off. You give them a second, see if they can get it off. If they can't, you blow the whistle, and now you're taking the face off outside if the puck wasn't touched, okay? But here's my question. Now is that a shot on goal? That was a shot that was taken from inside, so will the puck stay inside, or is it going to go back outside? And then we got further into this discussion because we talked about shot being deflected. Let's say you're at center ice and the guy goes to shoot the puck at the net and it gets deflected and it goes out. So now are we going back to center ice for that faceoff, or was that a shot on net and we're going downtown? There was a little confusion as to the way it was written. And then Brad came back this morning before we got on the air, and he was looking at the rules, and we were talking about it. It looks like now it's a case where, we're going to follow the old school. You went and you hit the 60-degree wedge at the net, and it goes straight out as opposed to being touched, and now we're going to go back outside even though it was a shot on goal?
So like I said to you, Scott, I think we need to send an email, which I will do in a little bit here, just to get a total 100% clarification on it. Because I agree with Brett as how it was written, and possibly is it supposed to align with NCAA? Because the NCAA, what they're basically doing is they're rewarding you for getting that attempt. So look at the spirit of the rule. I think that's where it's going with it. I never really understood, to be honest with you, playing and refereeing for the over 20 years, to where you would come down the ice, you'd march it down the ice, your guy would be in the corner, he'd pass it to a guy in the front, he'd shoot it, he'd miss the net by, this much, it would go off the back dasher, the glass in the dasher, and it'd fly out of play, and then you'd have to go outside the zone.
Yeah.
You did all that work to get down the ice, what is up with that? But I do want to double check on that, and I promise you, I told you, Scott, we'll send an email about it. It's just when they announced the banging on the boards a couple years last year, and we were like, hey, wait a minute, people send emails all the time, and you know what? The one thing that I can tell you, everybody in USA Hockey, the rules committees, the referee-in-chiefs, all that stuff, if you send them an email and say, hey, I don't get this, can you get clarification? It literally goes up the ladder until
right to the top.
It'll go right there, and you will get normally an answer back. So it's a good system. And sometimes, when they write this stuff, if you look at it, the rule book just came out. Well, this stuff was voted on a month ago, and they've already put it all into text. I mean, every once in a while you'll see a typo in there or something, and everybody's super critical about it. Well, they put this thing together, and it's actually available to us right now. I don't know. Nobody I know has written a book, but I know that writing a book is a really painfully long task, and there's, but they're putting this out fairly quick. Yeah. Sometimes we got to be the best not to judge on that.
Well, we're the editors. Somebody's got to edit, and we're the editors when we go in there and look at stuff that just might not quite compute with the way our thinking is aligned with the rules.
Right. Well, it's kind of like, back till a couple rule changes ago, it said that you couldn't wear fancy skates on the ice. And
What are fancy skates? Fancy skates would be white skates. Is that a fancy skate?
So fancy skates was how they wrote it a million years ago. You can't wear figure skates. So that was that was what they termed it as fancy skates.
Fancy skates
in the rule book. It was in there forever, Scott. Like
wow.
I kid you not. But
that's a good trivia question. What is the definition of a fancy skate? Well, it's a figure skate. I never thought of it that way. Fancy skate to me would be like, you painted your skates white like they used to do back in the 70s, like the was that the California Golden Seals that had the white skates, and a lot of the goalies stayed with the white skates. I mean, they were still rocking the white skates right up until the 2000s.
The WHA, that's a great trivia question too on, what's the reasoning that the NHL and the WHA merged together.
Well, because somebody was going to probably go out of business at some point.
Well, the
WHA taking all the good talent.
So according to if you read all the stories and everything, the WHA was getting more TV time than the NHL was because they had the West Coast teams.
Well, so they had that. Plus, they also spent that $1 million to get Bobby Hull. Okay, that nobody else would pay. So they got a lot of the talent. Gordie Howe came there with his sons. They got some great talent, and let's face it, that was competition.
Yep, and then they merged together, and part of their negotiation was so many years the WHA was on the one side and the NHL was on the other, and that's how the Blues were the first team to be in the Stanley Cup from the WHA, I believe.
The Blues? I don't remember them as a WHA team.
Oh, no,
St. Louis Blues?
Wrong. No, that's part of the expansion. That's my fault.
Yeah. No,
my bad.
I mean, we had the Whalers. The Whalers were part of the WHA. Edmonton was part of the WHA, right? The Oilers?
Yeah, because Gretzky played for them first.
Winnipeg was part of the WHA.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Don't quote me on this.
Yeah, you're going back in time on me. This starts to get I just referenced.
I do have that ability, don't I?
The 12 expansion there, and I'll admit I was 100% wrong.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I mean, we've had expansion teams for NHL, and we continue to have them. I mean, the Kraken, what a name. The Seattle Kraken. The nicknames that are going to be for the Seattle Kraken, right? Coming. So, but they will be appearing this next season, I believe. Have they drafted their team yet? Did they have the draft for the Kraken yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't followed that. We're too busy always being on the ice to know this. Let's see.
Terry corrected me. Thank you, Terry.
Brad, you were getting
right.
67 to 68 expansion and WHL mixed. Yeah.
You are correct.
So I think the WHA, when does anybody know what year the expansion, when they merged? It would have been in the 70s. I'm guessing mid to late 70s probably, or was it even later than that? I'm not sure. It could have been very early, like 1980 or something. But I think it was probably around
1979. It was
78
approved.
or 79, somewhere in that area. That would be my best guess.
1979, June 22nd, 1979. WHA ceased operations.
Yeah. It is. By the way, we'll just go back on this because we love Karen. She joins us every week. She said, "Oh my God, a player on the showcase team had that happen." We're talking about the cat urine smell, and the other player get his own locker room.
I'm sorry, the cat urine thing drives me
Good for
nuts.
them. Yeah, that just never goes away. Have you ever been accused of having smelling like cat urine?
Thank God, no. I mean, I've been called other things.
You've been called other things by your fellow officials or by the players and the parents.
No, good friends. It's normally good friends.
Okay, Eric said draft is on the 21st, so the Kraken will
in 7 days.
I wonder who they the best chances of them who they're going to get for the Kraken. Be interesting to see. I'm sure they'll get some good players. I mean, Vegas drafted very well. That's something else we were going to talk about. We're not going to cover this today, but you and I were talking about like the officiating from the Stanley Cups. I mean, if you saw from the playoffs, I should say, if you saw Facebook, oh my God, they had some great pictures of referees in Pittsburgh uniforms, and they had some great photos of referees in Las Vegas uniforms.
We can talk about it right now. We got the time, Scott. I get it.
Well, I think we should have some. We got the time, but we were on a subject and we kind of blew that off. We were going to talk about the face-off location. So, tell you what,
go back to it.
Put in the comments if you want us to stay on face-off locations. Put a 1 in the comments. That's face-off locations. Put a 1 in the comments. And if you wanted us to go off on bad NHL officiating, put a 2 in the comments.
Well, the one thing I can say, though, Scott, is even though we'll move on, but whichever the group decides, but the one thing about face-off locations, they're very important throughout the game. I know there's some officials that are out there, and they won't drop the puck on the bench side. They always line themselves up always on the non-bench side because they don't want to be by the benches.
Yep.
Well, you got to think of it from the coach's standpoint and the player's standpoint. When you're going to have a face-off and, it should be on, say the bench side, and you should be dropping the puck there. Well, that coach is sending out a particular center or wing, or they're plotting their face-off location with what you're supposed to be doing. At least they expect, and we do make mistakes, so we get that. But, you got to make sure that – go ahead.
I think one of the things, as a good linesman, especially in the 3-man, the 4-man or the 2-man, it doesn't matter which side you're going to take the puck to. But I think, when you give your signal quickly enough after the goalie makes the save, if you give your signal as the faceoff is going to go over here, that has ample time for the coach to make a decision as to who he's going to send out because you have indicated where that faceoff is going to go. You're not going to go, well, we're going to go over here, and by the way, I'm going to change it and go over here because I want to keep my referee off the bench side of the ice, which is a very nice thing to do, and your 3-man referee will appreciate that. That's what a good linesman does. But I think that's where that signal, and it's not a USA Hockey signal, but I see most of our officials know to point after the goalie has made the save or the puck has been frozen that we are going to go on this side or we're going to go on that side for the face-off, and that gives everybody time to prep to know where we are going to go. Am I wrong in that? Or
no, I agree with you. I don't think it hurts anything to give that signal. Just be careful that if it's like close to the goal, though, that you don't point at the goal. I've seen where I've actually seen it to where it looks like the referee's pointing a goal.
Oh wow.
And he's hitting it so fast and he's pointing so fast. It looks like he's pointing a goal instead of where the faceoff's going to be.
That makes sense. No, you should at least approach the goalie, to get the puck before you point where you're going to go with the faceoff. So it shouldn't be whistle and point faceoff's going right there. That would be a problem.
No, and I've seen it, and it happens, and it's no big deal. I get it, but. The other thing is too, when we're doing that, a little tip is when you have a timeout, especially, okay, or you're using a TV timeout, which not very many people get a chance to, but it's still a timeout. Put the puck on the dot where the faceoff's going to be.
Absolutely.
Don't bring it with you, because the coaches, even though they may know where the faceoff is, even after you point and everything, they're still going to want to triple check themselves before they send out that center or the wing or the defenseman or whatever it is. So just put the puck on the
especially at such a
spot.
Critical time. So yes, absolutely. And I to the credit of our officials, I don't think I've ever seen anybody really cart the puck off with them. I think everybody knows to put the puck down there, and so everybody can be prepared. And if you're not aware of that, and I think most of the officials that watch this show are aware, but if you're a coach or you're a parent or you're a fan that watches the show, maybe you don't know how the procedure should go, and that's really what should happen. That puck should go down on the dot where the faceoff is going to take place. That way, we don't forget, we go, oh, shoot, where were we? And go to the wrong location, which could happen. This is just a good reminder, everybody. That's where we're going, and when the referee blows the whistle or the horn goes off for that timeout, you know where you're supposed to go, and we can keep play moving.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a good little comment in there by Terry that as a group, go ahead, you can read that.
I got to see. Oh, okay. This one. And we as a group need to address the widely varying standard of the way officials conduct a face-off. Well, that's something else Brad and I were talking about when we were talking about face-offs. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Terry. Getting guys to square up and in a men's league. And the little guy he's so far over the dot, and I'm like, dude, you need to back up. Back up. Back up. And he's like, well, what do you want from me? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, it's a neutral zone face-off. I get that. There's no hash marks put in there for you, but the standard applies. I see this at a lot of the, I'll say, squirt and peewee level games where the players are so anxious to get so tight, their head is over the dot, their body is to the dot. You can't even put the puck down. Yes. They are chin to chin, face to face. Like, just go ahead and interlock your mask, or your cage, and we'll drop the puck and we'll see who gets twisted up first. But you can't get the puck down. Like, guys, I need space to even put the puck down. There's nowhere to go here with you guys. And I see that more and more, and I don't know why we're seeing that. But, everybody wants to be so tight to that dot. Guys, if you're a player, as an observer of many, many face-offs, dropping pucks, you will win way more face-offs if you just square up and you get in the hash marks and the linesman puts the puck down. If you're not squared up, you're going to have a tougher time. I'm just telling you, and I'm not saying it in a mean way that, like somebody's dropping the puck differently. It's just the fact. It's easier for you if you actually line up where they tell you to line up. You're going to win a lot more faceoffs. And I don't think people understand it. I see guys lose every single faceoff, and they're trying to cheat on every faceoff, and they don't win a single faceoff. And you finally get them squared up, and it's like, oh my God, you won a faceoff, buddy. How about that? And you just got a scoring opportunity off of it. Just square up. It's real simple.
I love talking to you about face-offs. It just goes from 0 to 60 and so fast. And what's funny about it is when Terry said what he said, if you look at the comments further down, that's what I thought he was talking about, and you took it on a totally left-hand U-turn. So what I think really? Terry's
Let's see what he said. All right, I got to look at it. Now I got to look at it. All right, as a group, he says, nice plan, but only needs to be used in rare occasions. And he says, and the casual manner that some guys just toss the puck in.
I think where Terry was going with this, and I that's where my thinking was, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, is to where USA Hockey, you're supposed to bend your knees, get the players set. Puck should come from your belt buckle out and down. Whereas you see officials that are, in some games you'll have one referee presenting the puck, which is out in front, for some people that don't referee.
Yeah, so presenting the puck means you've got the puck here and you're showing it and you're dropping it. That's presenting the puck versus coming from, and you can't really see, but if it was from here,
the belt buckle.
Consider this my belt buckle. Would be from here, you come down with the puck.
Out and down.
Yeah.
So I get that the casual manner, and that's it's something that isn't very consistent along the way when you go from game to game. But the idea behind USA Hockey teaching the face-off is a guy in New York should be dropping the puck the exact same way as a guy in California, or lady, of course. Sorry, not to be specific there. But it should be exactly the same. The team should be able to go anywhere in the nation and have the same standard. That's
right.
Terry with the how you could bounce it. The guys that try and throw their elbow out.
Yeah,
I like
guys
seeing that just. There's younger guys.
It's an art to getting the puck down. And for those of you that have never dropped a puck and you go, oh, come on, that's easy. I'm a player. I could drop that puck. Let me tell you something. I went to that level 1 seminar about 9.5 years ago. It's not easy, boys. And I think you'll find that if you come out to one of the seminars and you try it, you'll be surprised. It takes some practice. It's not as easy as it looks to be able to snap that puck down flat. And we have guys that have been around a long time that don't drop the puck very well, or they have to present it because they cannot bring it down from the belt buckle. So, if you're working higher levels of hockey, college, you present the puck. If you're working USA Hockey, it comes from the waist and out and down. So, but you may not see that very consistently. And Terry, that's a very good point. And, I'm all for having a great face-off. And I'm not the only one. I think if you want the opportunity for those of you young guys that, are going to be level fours that want to go work national tournaments, my understanding, and I've never had the privilege to work one of those games, but my understanding is that becomes a very big part of who they decide is going to work games. The guys that get the puck down the best, that provide the best, most fair face-off are the ones that get to do those games because the face-off is so important at that national level. It's huge. And, a lot of guys here take it for granted, but it's a big part of, high-level hockey.
Scott, the other thing about that is once you start going to national things and camps and stuff like that, there's only so many spots and so many games. The pyramid gets smaller.
Yeah.
So as you keep working and you're trying to get to the championship, sometimes two officials can be that close, talented-wise, skating-wise, everything, but yet one's face-offs are terrible and the other one's not. Guess who's going to work the game?
The one
that has the better face-off.
Yeah.
So you have to work on all aspects of
Hey,
what
we're running out of time here.
officiating-wise.
Don't stop. I need to bring Mr. Cowsill in. The poor guy's been sitting here. He's like, is he ever coming on? So let me.
No, we don't need him. Bring him on next week. We've done that before.
Live from the Stabbin' Cabin
There
in
it
an
goes.
undisclosed location with his Christmas lights on in July. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our referee-in-chief, Mr.
Area
Eric
51.
Cowsill. Welcome to the show.
Love you too. Thanks, boys. No, just real quick on that last thing. It's face-offs is a big component. There's a lot of little things when it gets to nationals, but I think one of the big things that these guys look at is game management. When and where do you take certain things and just how you manage the game. But yeah, there's a lot of little things that are considered. And by the way, the guy's name is Phil Pritchard, keeper of the cup.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Phil, good job. Thank you,
See,
Eric.
we knew somebody would know it.
Yeah, that's why you're the
That's
referee-in-chief. You know these things. Have you
100%
ever
right.
been on Jeopardy before?
No, I wouldn't do well. And
Okay.
to answer your earlier question, I didn't play because in the early 80s, when they were known as the Dead Wings, it wasn't a popular thing, and the nearest rink was an hour away, so it just wasn't on the menu for me as a kid.
I didn't know you were from Michigan, to be honest with you. I didn't know that about
Yep,
you.
suburbs of Detroit.
If they were
Which
the
one?
Dead Wings,
That be?
then,
Are you a Bloomfield Hills or whatever that's called, or are you
Rochester Hills.
Rochester Hills? Okay.
Like about 15 minutes from where the Pistons used to play.
Okay. I remember them.
is
Are they
that
still
where the
I
playing?
remember
Are they
them.
still there?
No,
used to have a couple
they
guys
moved
that could play.
downtown.
They move. Okay. No, I mean, do they still have a Detroit Piston team? That's how much I follow basketball.
Yeah, they just
I
moved
kind of
them
figured
downtown.
they
Yep.
did. Just my little dig at basketball.
No, I grew up watching the Wings, but for a long time they weren't good, and went to a lot of the games at the Joe.
They got
and,
good. They did have a run there for a number of years where they were really good.
Yeah, before the salary cap came in and killed them.
Yeah. Hurt a lot of teams, didn't it? But it kept them in business. It kept them in business. So.
But no, you guys wanted to talk about the seminars real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the one good. Well, I was going to try and put together like a little bit.
Oh,
of
I'm sorry,
demo.
Eric. We're out of time, but thank you for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll see ya. I'd expect nothing less.
Let me start the music now.
Yeah. No, I was going to put together like a little, I guess, demo. I didn't get a chance to, but I know the one
spent
thing
all
you
that
get.
time doing that thumbnail for your presentation.
I'm sorry.
use it again.
But I know the one thing that you guys have talked about doing was kind of doing a run through of USA and how to navigate the site as an official.
Yeah, can you teach me so I can register? I haven't registered yet.
We can do that.
Okay.
But the good thing is in this year's seminars, they've added in screenshots on how to navigate
Oh,
and
cool.
work through what you've done, what you need to do, and whether you're complete and different sections of it. So I think that'll be, really good for us, especially when it gets to the level ones of the world.
Nice.
But USA is open for those that are local. IHOA is now open. As of the start of the show, there were 170 registered officials in Illinois.
Great.
Wow. That's
That's
good.
awesome.
It's good. I was hoping for a little bit more, but we're getting there.
How many are you hoping for this year? I mean, what do you think we can realistically expect in terms of numbers and in terms of the level that they will be working?
Prior to COVID, we were at 1,400. During
And of
COVID,
those 1,400, how many worked fairly regularly?
I'd say a decent amount, actually. Oh, out of the 1,400?
Out of the 1,400, were 1,000 of them like regular refs that worked pretty consistently, or?
Yeah. It's tough for the level ones because they school, homework, everything else.
Sure.
But I know these guys do a really good job of, trying to get the level ones on games to retain them and bring them back. So
Yeah, one of the issues too with level ones is, when you look at it, you can't take a level one and a level one that both just became level ones and try to throw them on a game together. Now it does happen out of necessity, but they try not to have that happen to people because it's not fun. I remember first refereeing and they just threw you to the wolves. Then hopefully you got a good partner for your first couple games. If not, you could possibly not be officiating anymore because it can get that bad. And I understand where people quit.
Well, that was my first game. I'll never forget it. I was paired with a level one. No idea what I was doing. And I remember it was a mic game, and I remember, and this was before the mentor program started. And I came off that game, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. But
It could be challenging.
My third game, I got to work a mic travel game. My third game, and God forbid, the one team would be down by 1 goal, and they'd pull their goaltender, because I know what I did.
I know where this is. I think we've heard this story before.
Oh, well, I don't remember telling it, but maybe you've heard it after all the time. But I hit
Did you call too many men on the ice?
I
Bingo.
stopped play. I
Bingo.
definitely stopped play. I have never been so embarrassed in my entire life. And I remember that feeling. And I can tell you, every time somebody pulls their goalie now and I see too many men, like if I see too many jerseys out there of one color, I first look down at the goal if we're in the offensive zone. Every
Better
time
turn
still,
around.
because
Yep.
every time it happens, I get the same feeling still to this day.
But guess what? It'll never happen again because you did
hope
make
not.
that mistake and you learned. And that's how a lot of us end up learning. We have that mistake and it stays with us. And yeah, that's part of growing.
Yeah, so as far as seminars go, we get going here on the 27th. So what is that, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Do you
we get
disclose
started.
who's doing the seminars? Is that okay to do that or not?
We could.
Instructor-wise.
There's no secret there. It's the same group of guys that have been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
I was just kind of curious. So
It's not. It's not posted anywhere. But there's no secret there.
okay.
The only other thing, USA revamped how the presentations were, how they were put together, just to try and streamline it. And their thought process behind it was to make seminars consistent throughout the country, so that people aren't kind of creating their own and doing their own thing. I know we might add in a couple of things only because we have a different way of doing game reporting right now, so that's something that's important locally, so we include that in there. But
will that be changing, or are we going to be able to stay with our game report? Because ours is really good. We have a good system.
Yeah, we'll be staying with that. The only other thing I noticed that they changed is, in prior years, it was a lot of slides with just bullet points. and now they've gone to a lot more videos, especially with the rule changes, trying to give examples of, the various things that have come in. So
Oh, that's good.
it's good, but it kind of makes it, a little bit tougher, to try and force people to sit and watch this video, watch that video, from that aspect of it. But
when we started this would be my 10th season coming up, okay? Or, I started mid-season, but we didn't have any kind of videos, and that would have been so helpful, I think, as a level one to actually be able to see some of this stuff, that it would be just way better. It would give you a much better understanding of things.
Well, hang on, Brad, real quick. I agree, Scott, and I think that's the one thing our guys have done a really good job with in the last 3-4 years is, we take like live barn clips, from local games, and we, if it's a Pee Wee game, we'll put it in a level 1 and a level 2 seminar. If it's a varsity game, we'll put it in a level 3 and 4, and we'll show it and we'll talk through it. And I think that's been, great discussions, and I think it's been really helpful, and, it's a great teaching point. And, I think they've come a long way with including relevant videos. But I think it helps for our guys to see, the Illinois folks to see, some local stuff like, you put in a seminar and you're like, yeah, this just happened 2 months ago. What do you think?
Yeah.
Brings up a lot of good questions.
Well, was Illinois the first to have the videos? I think IHOA was, weren't they? The first group to start putting them together when...
So, all right, so check. I know a little backstory on this. So I believe it was Steve Drews and I forget who else. They went to instructor camp, and if they were flying back and they created most of the slide. I mean, we've adapted all the slides for the PowerPoint, but they were the guys that put together the PowerPoint for Illinois. And what was really interesting is when I went to instructor camp 5 years ago now, they give you this big data dump, and it's stuff from other local associations. It's really good tools that you can pick up and use in your set. The same slides that I saw that were first created, they were in that data dump as a tutorial in order to kind of use. So it's kind of cool. But, USA's been using video for quite some time, and IHOA just took it, everybody kind of feeds off of everybody else. Now, what's funny about this is you're complaining about video, Scott. When I had my first seminar, it was with an overhead projector and the laying, I forget, the overlays.
The overlay.
And the pen that you draw with and all that. And about an hour into the seminar, the light bulb died. So we got to have lunch very, 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 very early. And they had to go buy a light bulb, which, by the way, you would think back in, that time, that'd be easy to find, right? No, it was like an hour later. So they come back, and it was crazy. But they did have one video. I'll never forget. It was on a VHS tape. And I think it was made in like 1975. And the same guy that directed Slapshot directed this thing.
Oh, so it was professionally produced on VHS tape.
But no, it's just so funny because we take a lot for granted that we have, especially in our area and what everybody's doing. So it's just funny that I can tell you just from personal experience, it's jumped leaps and bounds from where it was. So just that little 2 cents. But yeah, I'll never forget the overhead projector and the overlay. I'll never forget that.
No, we're always looking for new and better ways to create and teach seminars and keep people engaged and have them retain the information. I know it's a lot to try and sit through, especially for the level ones.
Yeah. I mean, but it's so important for the level ones. I mean, that's the one time you can really stand around and ask questions and, get answers, and people will show you what to do. I mean, I remember they build, like, I don't want to call it a rink, but, they tape out like a rink. It's like you can go there and you stand there and it's good. We had that at the district seminar. They took us outside in the parking lot and they drew the rink. And, you have different levels of officials there, and it works. It's a good way to teach. You'd be surprised how many people didn't know where the golden triangle was.
You'd be surprised how many people don't know what the golden triangle is. Like, unless you've refereed, I don't think you know that.
Well, these were all referees, and they still didn't know where the golden triangle was if they had to point it out on the rink. You know where to go and you know how to skate it, but it doesn't mean you know, like, it starts here and it ends there. So.
Yeah, well, there's actually an awesome video of some instructors. I forget what state, and there was like 10 of them on this seminar, and they brought all the level 1s, I think it was, or 2s, I can't remember. And they all had like sticks and gloves and whatever, and they simulated a face-off, and all 10 of them started fighting, and then they yelled stop, and then they asked the officials that were there what penalties they had.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually quite amusing to watch, because then I think they went in and had them write it down too.
Yes,
on paper, and it's just, and they didn't prep them. They didn't tell them they were going to do it. I thought that was a great tool.
That is.
I just don't have that many people at once.
Even when you have it, it's the toughest thing in the world to start getting those numbers and coming up. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get the ones that were the problems that started it, but it's not the easiest thing to do. You may have 6 penalties in your mind. By the time you get over there and everybody's worked you over, you're lucky if you got 2 at that point, but at least you hopefully got the right ones.
Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of ways that, to me, that would be something that would be really fun to do in a seminar if you could coordinate it and rehearse it. I love playing videos in a seminar, and you play it one time through, and there's a couple of people there, play it again. It's like, no, you don't get to play it again in the game. You get one crack at it.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. You could tell me we're going to watch this, but if you don't tell me what I'm looking for, I need to see it a couple times, because it is not the same field of depth. It's not the same view. Like on a rink, you can see something. You're watching play, you know what you're looking for, and you got your position. But on a video, it's like something's going to happen. Where? I can't even see the puck. I don't even know what I'm looking for, because it's, you don't know that, but you don't know what's been going on in the game.
You don't know what you're looking for, but you got to look for it.
You know what? Yeah, but Scott needs a puck tracer. That's
yeah,
what he needs. All
I need the laser puck. I also need a puck picker. Okay, I need a puck picker. I need that too. I know. We'll get you a few more officials. A couple of the old guys might stick around for a while. Eric's looking at me from the stabbing cabin. I'm getting that look. I'm getting that look from the stabbing cabin.
Piece of equipment.
And you know what? You know what else? You can beat men's league players away that are chasing you around on the ice.
What with
that would be the positive.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's it. I think we're done here today.
I think we're going to put a fork in us. We are done.
There you go. Hey, you know what? Beforehand, nobody knows this, but beforehand, Scott's sitting there and he's going, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?" And I'm like,
"All right, you know what?
Hear what? What are you talking about?" He just keeps asking me, "Do you?" And then he goes,
"Guys, do me a favor. I actually just put something on. If you can hear that coming out over the internet, put a 1 in the comments. A 1 in the comments if you hear something playing right now, and give me a 2 if you don't hear anything playing. I know you guys are shaking your head.
Can't hear anything.
Nobody can hear anything.
You talked. Why'd you talk? I was going to get him going.
Yeah.
Like that he muted us.
Well,
what?
I mean, so I have a new way of being able to play music through this Stream Deck thing. 2, can't hear it. Okay. But yet it's routed. I can see it. I can hear it. But somehow you guys can't hear it. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to figure that one out. It's a new way of being able to play audio. But apparently it doesn't work yet. So I'll have to do a little research on that. There's got to be a new way to configure that. So, because I got some nice music that way if we could do it. But we can't. So there you have it. All right. Anything else you guys want to cover before we go? You want to remind everybody to register, Eric?
Yeah. USA's open. We're open. And if, there's anybody local on the call that is interested in helping out with seminars, please reach out.
Thank you, Ref Room, for giving us a 0 on that. Does that mean you can hear it or you can't hear it?
I hear zero.
The lips are moving, but nothing's coming out.
I figured I had a second, and I can get to the link real quick now, so it's on the big page.
There you go. All right, a reminder, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, you could get a benefit at the golf outing by being a subscriber on YouTube and hitting that notification bell. And yes, we know who subscribes. We have a way of going in and looking, so we will know if you are subscribed. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That's youtube.com/c/refroom. And we will see all you guys. Well, we'll see you next Wednesday before the golf outing, but next week is the golf outing. Eric, You're going to be there, right? Are you in our foursome?
I believe I am.
Are you any good?
He's the only one that hasn't paid. Just put that out there.
You'll find out.
No tip and no tip and Pippin. It's no pay Cowsill.
No.
I just like screwing with him.
Yeah, of course. We all like screwing with Eric, and he's a good sport about it. So that's the best part about it. You know, he's not like an uptight referee-in-chief. Are you any good though? I haven't seen you play golf. Are you any good?
I have my moments.
You have your moments. Do you hit the ball far?
I'm gonna go with if you pick your ball up and throw it.
Winner rules.
So you have a good foot wedge, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
The foot wedge, where you kick the ball down the fairway, or am I going to go up there and you're going to be 30 yards further up and you go, here's my ball, here it is. Oh, Eric, I thought this was yours 30 yards back with the marking that you had on it.
No, you throw it as you're driving the car.
Oh, okay.
It goes further that way.
Brad, are you any good? I've never played golf with you.
It's like that Simpsons where Homer's playing against Mr. Burns, and Smithers is running up and putting his ball on the green, and Homer hits him with the ball. He's like, "You've been putting my ball on the green for all these years." Like he suddenly realizes that he's terrible. I'm not a great golfer. I'll put it that way. I mean, I can hit the ball every once in a while.
Well, my foursome last year, we only had threesome, and we were competitive. Okay, we put up 7 under, so I'm expecting you guys to get to the driving range and go put some time on the putting green. I have high expectations for this group.
No.
You know what they say
I should not have high expectations.
No.
You are not level 4 golfers. You guys are level 1 golfers.
Yeah, I would say maybe level 2 golfer.
Level 2 golfers. All right, we're in trouble. I know not to have any side bets.
I'm gonna let Cowsill drive the cart, so I better wear my swim trunks.
That could be bad too.
Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Are you going to drive right past the ladies' tee for Brad?
I'll stop at the ladies' tee for Brad.
For Brad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, it's been fun. Always a blast. Thanks for joining us. And everybody, you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there. Have some fun. Enjoy the summer. Get a couple games in. And we will see you next Wednesday at noon. We kind of ran over today, so I hope you guys don't mind. We were having a good time, even without really having a program together here. We covered a lot of information. So that's the gift of gab, right? Yeah, we could do radio. We don't need a program. We just keep talking.
Hey, can you mention real quick? As my phone's lighting up, Steve and Alex Drews will be running that par 3 that I was talking about. I don't know what they have set up yet, but I know Steve's buzzing me right now. So I don't know if he thinks that we're off, but just so you know, they're going to be out running something.
Awesome.
So just so you guys know.
Okay.
Cool.
There you go. There you have it. Anything else? Any other text messages you need to convey?
No,
Looking forward to seeing everybody.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. So that's a week from Friday, everybody. I'm glad you guys signed up. We are full. I don't know if there's 1 or 2 spots to be had, but I think we are full, and we are excited about that. And again, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get an advantage at the golf outing. Maybe you'll get an advantage. Maybe we'll give you the referee-in-chief to play on your team for a hole or something like that.
There you go.
We'll just put him out at the par 3 and see if you can beat the referee-in-chief. Now, wait. That would actually be a good little game for you guys to have.
You need one of those
for charity.
Dunk tanks.
Dunk tank.
Dunk tank. But you got to hit it with a golf ball. You can't throw it.
Good luck.
Baseball.
No, you got to hit it with a hockey puck. You got to hit it with a hockey puck. You get to snipe that thing. And if you miss, you get to hit the referee-in-chief. We'll put him in goalie
Says they're not
equipment.
going to shoot at the thing.
Yeah, I could see him dunking in the leather.
All right. Well, keep that in mind for next year.
Yeah, but
That raises
honestly,
money,
like you could have, we could put somebody up there, or maybe we could get an NHL player or referee to come out, and everybody plays one hole with them at the par 3, and you have can you beat the referee or beat the referee-in-chief or whatever?
Well, all I know is for a dunk tank, it costs between $270 and $300 to rent it, according to the national average.
Well, it's probably more in Chicago, so I would say it's going to be more than that, because delivery alone for one of those things, think about a truck and 2 guys to move it and put it up, is going to cost you more than $250. But I do know a company that does that, an amusement company, so if you want to get one, we'll talk.
Are you volunteering?
No, I'm not. I don't have one. I don't have one. I mean, if I had one, I would gladly give it to you.
No,
I mean, if you need a DJ, you need a DJ for this thing. If you want to watch a bunch of like referees in bad golf outfits dance, I mean, you can contact me for that. But I don't have a dunk tank, unfortunately.
Not this year.
Not. It's in the budget for next year, huh? Okay.
I don't think so, but
all right. All right, guys. We will talk to you next week. Have a great week. On behalf of everybody here at the Ref Room, me, my man Brad Baumruck, and our special guest, Referee-in-Chief of IHOA, Mr. Eric Cowsill, live from the Stabbing Cabin. We will see you again soon.
I knew he was going to go back there.